48th episode of the Korea podcast with another cough. With a cough. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since I was live, but I'm back. The Korea podcast is a podcast on which I talk about anything and everything related to living and working in South Korea. And today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's the 14th of February. It rained last night, which is great. I'm looking forward to spring coming, man. It's first spring shower, I guess. Spring is here. Not to mention the crows that have been departing Ulsan. I always assumed that they were the crows that were leaving Ulsan, or that the crows were migrating past Korea, but there are 50,000, something in the vicinity of 50,000 Siberian crows that migrate every year, and they swarm past Ulsan, the skies of Ulsan, turning them black entirely. Murders of crows. And I always assumed that they continued past Ulsan and further down south, but that could not be farther from the truth. Apparently, these little fellas stay in South Korea, man, or stay in Ulsan rather. They fly over Ulsan and settle somewhere in the vicinity of the Taewa River. 50,000 of these suckers, and so they usually come here, fly in at the beginning of winter, and then they depart once again at the start of spring, which basically is an indication that spring is coming once these suckers start flying off. And so that's what they're doing. So that's nice, because I'm looking forward to spring. So crows leaving, and now the showers are coming back. Life is good again, man. I can't wait for warm weather to start kicking in. Although I think it's supposed to get a little bit cold again. What are we gonna talk about today? First of all, I'm trying to find some music here. Where's my tunes, yo? Where are my tunes? Oh yeah, this is it. On the menu today, we're gonna talk a little bit, actually a lot, about what's been going on here. Protests in Ulsan, in the city of Ulsan, against Afghan refugees settling in local schools. And then we'll talk about some COVID stuff, and of course COVID and some other things that are going on in the business world of South Korea, some oddities, some interesting things. We'll look at all that, but we're going to start off with our usual segment of Korean parking violations or the lack of sensitivity, I guess I would like to call it. This little sign says Jucha Gumchi, which means no parking here, and the comment on this was, people can't read, but granted, we don't actually know if this person was Korean. Either way, by the way, I forgot to mention 2-week absence. My 2-week absence stems from the fact that 2 weeks ago was Solal, and I totally forgot. I was in celebratory mood, and we were just chilling here at home, and I totally forgot about everything. And then next week, I was just not up for it, man. There's so many things going on in my life. Business-wise, COVID is killing everybody, verbally, metaphorically, and quite physically, literally rather. And so yeah, that's why. And so over the duration of the 2 weeks, we've got a nice juicy selection of shitty parking jobs. So that's nice. That's the same one, parked, shown from a different angle. Basically, he's almost sticking out into the traffic, which is kind of doofy because he's blocking the sidewalk for people to walk on, and of course, people gotta up over the street. This guy I found on my own. This is my beauty. You see these things all over the place, and I guess this is kind of cool. This is like the Korean culture, right? If you live in Korea, if you live and work in Korea, then you've seen these time and time again. It's a cool, nifty little tent that you can set up on top of your car. I wonder how warm it is and how it works, but anyway, I guess this person decided, you know, since they're going to be occupying 2 parking spots anyway, might as well park however the heck they want. So that's what they did. 2 parking spots. Kablemo, there it is. Same here. This, I guess, the problem here is that there's a little bay here. If you can notice, see the tent, and there's a little whatever encalve or whatever it's called. And so these people tried to set up the tent here, but that also ultimately meant that if you wanted to have a car in front of it, then you have to occupy 2 parking spots. And so the guy next to it just decided that lines are not that important. Not a big deal if it's in the off season, but I think during the on season, like camping season or rather summer season, they would not be able to park like that anyway, because that would be a big no-no. Somebody would kick them off there probably. Anyway, you know what? I didn't even check if the sound is okay. Let me just check to make sure the sound is okay. Sounds okay. Fantastic. Yeah, right. We're in beeswax. We're in beeswax. I gotta plug in my phone, man. This is my lifeline, my alarm for tomorrow. Alrighty, so there you go. This is a good one. I saw this one once. I saw somebody do the same thing. Some dude puts a cardboard in front of his license plate to cover up, I don't know, I guess trucks driving by. Occasionally trucks or like SUVs drive by with cameras shooting down any crabby parking jobs. And one way to avoid it is to put a cardboard in front of it. So if the drivers, you know, if they're zooming by without stopping and just recording what they see, then you get yourself a safe space. This is the truck again from a regular shot. Yeah, but I mean, if the car stopped and the driver decided to get out, they could easily take the cardboard away and expose the perpetrator. Double parked right on the corner. Man, this is a murderlicious, man. This guy deserves to be egged, because that's, you know, that's blocking massive intersection here from every side. Not to mention that in order to turn right, you have to make a massive turn here, and anybody coming in from that direction will probably have to back out, and horrible. This is just a funny picture, man. Somebody used their rubber shoes to block the car from, I guess, rolling down. I don't know. Cars have very good brakes, but I guess in the past people had, you know, old cars with crabby brakes, and people are used to having using stones, basically putting stones under tires, under rear tires, to prevent cars from sliding down. I've seen that being done with like older bongo trucks, but not so much with newer. This looks like a newer car, so this is kind of funny. These tires also look pretty brand new. Yeah, this clearly the car just parked on the wrong side of the road, so he must have crossed over into oncoming traffic and just parked himself cladouche right here. I've done it, I'm guilty of it, but I've done it on like a side road, so I guess it's semi-excusable. Excusable, I don't know. But this looks like a bit of a busier road. You know, there are businesses along this street. It's divided with yellow lines. The one I did it on had no lines dividing it. It's essentially just, you know, free for all kind of side street. But this one looks like a legitimate semi-main road. Need I say more? I assume this person was thinking, you know, parking ahead, I'm gonna continue over, and not realized maybe it was just a little granny or something behind the steering wheel, not able to look over. No idea. Park in the middle of the night. Oh, there's only one of these? Oh no, there's gotta be more. I think this is an old one. But yeah. There were 3 of these pictures. I don't know where they went. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's gonna be more, I think. But yeah, this is somewhere in a shopping mall outside. This guy he must have parked like see the yellow sticker right here. That's what the guards dish out to wrongly parked cars, and that's what he got. But like, he just slap in the middle. My goodness, this dude must have been pissed when he parked. Probably stumbled his way home. Was out for the next 3 days. So this is the car parked in the middle of the night. Fantastic shot. The guy didn't quite make it to the line. Maybe he was afraid he was going to hit the guy in front of him. So, you know, to err on the side of caution. This is again the vent from the back of it. From the back. If you have a car, where is the best place to park in Korea? Here's a market, a little store, a pharmacy, on the subway, or in the staircase. Yeah. Yes. Alrighty. All good and good. Fantastic. Who's in the chat? Nobody's in the chat. There are some people here. Oh, I forgot to advertise, man. The Korea podcast is always supported by Shane English Korea. If you are living and working in South Korea and you're interested in starting up your own language school here in the country, then do not hesitate to get in touch with me. My wife and I are the master franchisees for the region of South Korea, and we can set you up with your very own language school. It's a turnkey business. We've got all the curriculums, all the schwinky shebang that goes along with a curriculum necessary to start running your Hagwon from the very first day. And we've got proven facts of success, I guess. Good success track record. Lisa, hey Lisa. Our first franchise that opened up here basically recouped her expenses within the first 6 months of opening. Alrighty, okay, so what's been happening here? Ulsan. Ulsan parents protest Afghan evacuees settlement in local schools. So basically, I read the article once and I don't remember it exactly, but basically there are some evacuees from Afghanistan who are being resettled into South Korea, and particularly into the city of Ulsan. And I guess it's due to the fact that Ulsan is the industrial hub for shipbuilding and all kinds of other factories. And so these people moved here. I think about 150 Afghan families that were moved here. 390. So last year, 391 Afghans who had been designated by the Korean government as special contributors were airlifted to Korea after their country fell into the hands of the Taliban. Among them, 153 evacuees have now settled in the southern industrial city of Ulsan to work for a subcontractor of Hyundai Heavy Industries. So 391 Afghanis who refugees from who came to South Korea. 152 of them came to Ulsan. Their presence has caused a stir among some residents, and so, like I said, they work for HHI, which is up in Bangojin here. Presence has caused a stir among some residents. While many welcome their new neighbors, others voice worries for various reasons. And there's all kinds of nonsense that people are protesting against. Basically, actually, I don't even know what this means. I didn't translate it. 학교 부호 I heard about this. It's so sad. They've been invited and the government hasn't found a way to convince locals. It's a good thing, Lisa says. Yeah, absolutely. Among the families of special contributors settling in Ulsan, 64 are school-aged children who are supposed to be assigned to nearby elementary, middle, and high schools. About 50 parents of Sebo Elementary School in Ulsan, near the Afghans' residence, rallied against the admission of the Afghan children into the school on Wednesday. A parent of a student attending the elementary school who took part in the protest said, on condition of anonymity, that schools are already packed with students and there is no room for additional students. It's such bunch of hooey, right? There is a large apartment complex near Sebo Elementary School, so many more school-age children are expected to move here soon. Some classrooms have already been overcrowded, so there is no room for the Afghan children, she said. So I wonder if she's going to be standing and protesting if it's going to be Korean children who may be on the verge of overcrowding these classrooms, right? She noted her opposition to the Afghan students didn't come due to racist reasons, ethnic prejudice, religion, or dislike of Islamic culture. Again, I wonder if her reaction would be the same if these people, the kids that were going to overcrowd her classrooms, were Korean. Another parent who also wished to remain anonymous said the city authorities had no prior consultations with the residents over that matter. Neither Ulsan Metropolitan. So it's like they're saying, the city didn't consult us before they let these kids in here. As if the city needed to consult them every time that they're going to be, letting in other kids into the school. And so the question again remains, or goes back to the question. The question goes back to the question: would these people still be having problems with the city not having consulted with them prior to admitting more Korean students to the class, rather than the Afghani students or the Afghani children? Neither Ulsan Metropolitan City nor the Ulsan Education Office had asked us to meet to explain the relocation. We only learned, what are they? Why would they need to explain the relocation to them? What is that their business? Why is that? What, they're hazardous occupants that are being moved and the neighborhood needs to be notified? It's so ridiculous, obviously. We only learned about their presence from news articles. We are outraged because the city authorities made that decision without prior consultation with local residents, she said. She said that the language barrier is another reason behind her opposition to the Afghan people's settlement. In addition, I heard that some of the children from Afghan families can speak English as well as Korean. If so, we believe it is more appropriate for these children to be educated at foreign schools instead of ordinary schools. A number of messages opposing the resettlement of the special contributors have been uploaded to the homepage of the district and city governments. An online petition was filled to request that Afghan special contributors be relocated to other parts of Ulsan, garnering more than 3,000 signatures in just 3 days. And apparently when that happens, there's a number, I guess if it's over 30 signatures, then the Department of City Government, the related department of the city government is required to respond. Regarding sending the Afghan children to international schools, the education officials said foreign schools are private education institutions and we are not considering such an option because they would have to be paying for that, right? And that's not the government's responsibility. Already packed, give me a break. How is that even possible with such a declining birth rate? Exactly, Lisa, precisely. So these are just, in part you can't. I was thinking about it, and it's this is the news. I don't really blame the Korean people. I don't blame the parents so much as I much more place the blame on the media, on the news, and how they report everything, including conflicts in the Middle East. People are clearly prejudiced. Islam and Muslims have been ostracized for a long time, right? And the ongoing religious war between Christianity and Islam has been ongoing for hundreds of years and continues. Korea is a very strongly Christian nation, despite its Buddhist roots. The majority religion in Korea is the Christian one, and this is one of the reasons as well, most likely, that people will be against having people of other faiths, particularly of the Islamic faith, within their midst. But also just the way media reports, we all know how they twist it. I mean, all you need to do is look at how media reports the present situation in the Ukraine. Just recently, when was it? Today or something? I was talking to somebody, overheard somebody talk. I don't remember if I was on YouTube or I was talking to somebody. how the Ukrainian president was basically, I don't know, not downplaying, but essentially going against what the media portrays. People seem to be, talking about a war breaking out, and yeah, Russia is standing at the border of Ukraine, but apparently the Ukrainian president is downplaying the situation. Whatever the situation may be. Another example is just last week, I believe, there was a report on Australia ABC that was had an expert, some kid located in Ulsan, who was reporting, and apparently the comment that I saw on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups, was that ABC Australia was reporting that a war between South and North Korea was on the verge of breaking out. And I think this was like right after North Korea was testing some of its long-range missiles or whatever. But this kid from Ulsan here was reporting, contributing to like this whole frenzy of a war being on the verge of breaking out between the countries, right? And it's no news, if you've been living in South Korea for a longer period of time, it's no news that this happens on a regular basis. Every year there's some kind of fright, and the news likes to rally everybody up, just to frenzy everybody up into the sense of fear again. We need to have something to be afraid of, or things will start working out for us. Fear is a very good means of controlling the population. So yeah, local governments such as Dong District Office do not provide direct financial support to refugees, so we are also notified by the central government about the Afghan evacuees later, he said. There are 3,000 foreigners living in Donggu District, where Hyundai shipyard is located, and the office also have experience operating accommodation for foreign workers. We will make good use of our accumulated know-how to manage foreign residents so that there are no unnecessary conflicts between domestic and foreign nationals, he said. Meanwhile, 53 civic groups, including Ulsan Citizenship Coalition, held a press conference in front of the Ulsan City Hall on Wednesday to support the protection of the Afghan evacuees and their settlement in Ulsan, and call on Ulsan residents to welcome them with hospitality. The Korean government should be responsible for protecting the special contributors, and Ulsan citizens also need to have mature consciousness as well as attitude to embrace their suffering, the coalition said. Indeed, I find Korea to be a very a nation lacking in humanities. While it's a very technologically advanced society, it definitely lacks in humanities. That's why the departments of psychologies are like virtually non-existent. I had a student here from the local Ulsan University who was studying in the department of psychology, and we talked about it, and she told me the things that she was doing, and it was an absolute joke. Like it didn't even come close to being named a psychology department. It was horrible. So I don't know what I mean. Ulsan is not one of the top universities, but it does do pretty well when it comes to technology and IT departments and such. But when it comes to humanities, man, it's an absolute disaster. And I don't presume that even the Seoul National University is that much better off. Because what I see on television, I mean, you see stuff on television that makes your head spin. Anyway, okay, so Koreans are very superstitious still to this day, which tells you a lot about, the approach or the overall understanding of psychology and how human psychology works throughout the population. Gwangju City government plans to provide subsidies to foreign-aged children, 3 to 5. This is news that when was this article from? I think this is a recent article, but this news was, just yesterday. This news was talked about a while back, so I think this is just a reiteration. The city of Gwangju, about 330 southwest, is working on a plan to provide childcare subsidies to foreign children aged 3 to 5, officials said Monday. They're working on that, and I guess maybe they're feeling bad for whatever else is happening. But overall, it seems like Korea is taking some steps towards and the improvement of living conditions for expats here. Expats of all shapes and colors, because I mean expats are not only white people who are here to teach English, right? There's people from all over the place. Mongolia, my goodness, every time I start talking on the podcast, my nose goes nuts. Hey, check this out. Leah made me a tie. I was gonna wear this, but I realized that that's my tie. I realized that it's, you can't really see it, so that's too bad. There you go, my tie. My tie from Thailand. Children of multicultural backgrounds still face discrimination in schools. Yep. Ulsan governor Gyeonggi province, Gu Yong-chan, 16, still remembers the first day when he moved to new school a few years ago. He was introduced as a multicultural child by his homeroom teacher in front of the whole class. Yeah, there you go. I immediately saw the uncomfortable looks on my classmates' faces, which made me feel nervous and awkward, said Gu, whose mother is Chinese and father Korean. Being labeled as a multicultural student on the first day of school was not only unpleasant, but it also made it harder for him to make new friends. It felt like my classmates were keeping a distance from me. Thanks, Lisa. Lisa says, what a cute tie. I think I forgot to say, make sure to subscribe, smash up the likes. Lisa, don't forget to smash up the likes. If you're new to this podcast, if you're watching after recording, then make sure to smash up the likes on the video. So, yeah, they're kids still wrestling with that, and having a teacher like that. What is the purpose of this introduction? Like, how about just saying, hello, this is Gu Yong-chan, new student, versus, hi, this is Gu Yong-chan, he's a multicultural kid. Like, why? What is the need? And this is something that's like entrenched in the Korean psyche. That's what I mean. There is a lack of humanities and the understanding of how human psychology works. That's why stuff like that still happens, and it will continue to happen until people, you know, stop chasing money and start looking at other things. What do foreigners want from Korea's next president? This is a video on, oh, what the heck, I think it's an interview on Arirang, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. No, Korea Times. This is the Korea Times. I'm gonna post it in the chat because I'm not gonna play the video now here, but it talks about the things that foreigners are looking forward to having in the new president. I'm not sure if that's gonna make any difference, but people talk about, you know, job security would be nice, and COVID and this and that, but essentially, yeah, people are afraid of losing, not afraid, but people would be a lot more comfortable if they had better job security. This dude is a lawyer. I don't know if that makes any that changes anything, but there are other people from other walks of life. This guy's from Egypt. This guy, I don't know, I've missed the label. Some people from, where is this girl from? Hungary. Yeah, so people from all over the place, and I'm sure everybody was being very politically correct, and not too negative because they were going on, you know, national television. So sure, if you put people into a room, people have slightly different opinions. Children of multicultural backgrounds still face discrimination in schools. Again, this is on the Korea Times. You know, articles recycle pretty much. Korea Times, the Korea Herald, they all recycle. But yeah, children of multicultural families still face discrimination in schools. Oh, this is just the same article. Yeah, okay, this is the same article. Yeah. This is something interesting. The Beijing Olympics. Barbecue's Olympic marketing raises eyebrows. Apparently the BBQ chicken. It's the Genesis BBQ is facing criticism for having 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic skaters promote the country's third largest fried chicken franchise, according to critics Monday. That is just funny. Imagine being at the Olympics and, like, you know, you see businesses being promoted, paying for advertisement. They pay thousands of dollars, right? And you've got Olympic skaters and stuff advertising chicken. I don't know what that says about a nation's priorities. It's not. I guess Well, I guess, you know, Samsung and Hyundai speak for themselves. They don't really need a lot of advertisement, right? They're world-renowned companies. So it's room for chicken now. South Korea on Monday expects to see yet another record high COVID-19 tally. I don't know if you followed these, but because of Omicron, I guess, numbers of COVID have spiked up to like incredible numbers. We're in like the 50,000s now and stuff like that, and it's crazy. Yeah, where is it here? Let me just find this article. No, where is it? Oh, shoot. Novavax is being released. I don't know where the article is right now, but Novavax is being released, and I believe Novavax is going to be the 5th vaccination that's going to become available in South Korea, and that is, shoot, where is it? Here it is, okay. There we go. Novavax is being released, set to start administering Novavax in South Korea. And this is an interesting vaccination because it's based on protein synthesization of whatever. It's a traditional type of vaccine, the ones that we're used to, not an mRNA vaccine, which scared the living bejeebus out of people. Lisa said already liked, even subscribed. Set the reminder this evening. Oh, awesome, Lisa. Thanks a lot, man. Reminders help. So, yeah, that's what's happening. Novavax is coming out. Very good. That's something I may get into if necessary. I mean, I would like to avoid the whole thing altogether, but if necessary. So what's happening in Kiev, in the Ukraine, man? And the situation is getting, I guess, pretty serious according to the media. Korean companies fly staff out of Kiev, which means, you know, people are taking precautionary steps and taking it seriously. Korean working for Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics in Ukraine are being returned home or dispatched elsewhere amid intensifying tensions with Russia. The Korean government issued a travel ban to Ukraine on Saturday midnight, prohibiting all inbound travel into Ukraine. It commanded all Koreans in Ukraine to leave immediately. Samsung Electronics and LG companies have sales corporations in Ukraine, capital of Kiev. I saw a little speech that Putin was given, and he basically was saying that, you know, if Ukraine enters the NATO agreement, then it's all hell is bound to break loose. Lisa says, I heard they're likely to stop reporting numbers in the next few months. There's rumors they'll start calling it dokam. Yeah, the common cold, possibly. You know, Fauci basically said that everybody's gonna get it. Everybody will have COVID. Like 95% of the world population will get COVID at one point in time. No way around it. And I guess now they're saying that, you know, if you have vaccinations, if you are vaccinated, then your chances of dying are less likely, or less likely to be become seriously ill. And so it continues. I mean, the whatchamacallit, the way it's talked about, the way COVID is talked about it remains the same. If you've been vaccinated, then Omicron will not affect you as much as it will those who have not been vaccinated, right? Although many physicians have reported in the past that I think Omicron does present itself as a lot more severe, sorry, not severe, dominant. It's a dominant strain, but it's a lot less severe than the Delta variant, right? That was the idea. But so yeah, millions are to be made on vaccinations, and they're still being pushed. This is the thing that concerns me. Korea high-profile suicide sparks cyberbullying. Apparently, a famous YouTuber and figure skater, volleyball player, volleyball player Kim In-hyung and YouTuber Ko Jang-mi, who died within a day of each other, are thought to have taken their own lives because of cyberbullying. Korea is pretty nasty for that, man, and it goes against high-profile people, and even more so against just smaller people. Like the amount of garbage that people spew, you know, in the guise of hidden under the umbrella of being incognito. Jeez, I can't find the words. Being incognito, you know, hiding behind the shadows, in the shadows. It's shocking. People will say anything. I mean, people will say on Facebook, even when you know profiles, people can be vicious and poisonous, man, and they will say all kinds of stuff. But imagine when you remove their faces and remove any presence of you know, knowledge of who they are, people will say anything to be vicious and mean. Korea is nasty for that. There is a lot of that happening. Samsung Electronics files for a patent for multi-foldable phone. I don't know what that means. Is that good? Is that bad? But this phone, bad boy, will fold, I guess, in 4 ways, each and every way. Samsung Electronics has filed a patent for a multi-foldable phone that can be folded horizontally and vertically. Fantastic. This is what it would look like, I guess. Good, bad, I don't know. Can you make shapes out of it? Can you fold it like you would a Rubik's Cube or something? Maybe cool. But the screens are becoming a lot more flexible. At some point in time, we'll be rolling them up into a little cigar size thingy. And did you know that food tech era, alternative foods are a thing? There's a lot more research going on into alternative foods, man. I had no idea, but that's a thing. There's like millions of dollars going into alternative foods, and Korea is putting a lot of money into that department as well. So I don't know, pretty soon we'll be eating vegetable burgers. I mean, they're vegetable burgers, but meat that hasn't been grown, you know, on farms, but rather in a petri dish. Scary stuff. Yeah, that's all happening. So that's it, peeps. That's it for tonight. Yeah, man, it's very sad to see that these things happen, but sadly they do happen still. And again, I don't really like to point fingers at the Korean people, because the media is got a lot to blame, and I would also point fingers at just the setup of society and the schooling system and everything else. Like, nothing goes in segregation. The whole system and the living style in society, it all works together. And you know, the stuff that we put in, garbage out, I guess, if you want to put it that way, right? The education system is something to be desired, even though it's been tooted over and over for this and that, but obviously it's lacking, because people come out, still children come out, you know, despite the fact that Korea has so many foreigners, there's so much English, and you see foreigners on TV, on the streets, everywhere. It's not like Korea is what it was in 2005 when I came here, right? It's a very different country, very advanced technologically, but yet, in terms of, like I said earlier, in the Department of Humanities, it's still very backwards, man, and it's shocking. And it really comes out when you move to a city like that, or when you go into districts that are very industrially driven, right? But I guess maybe that's everywhere, because I remember similar things happening in England when we were there, and I was living there with my wife, and she was getting, you know, people doing this to her and going ching chong chang when they saw an Asian woman on the street. So it goes both ways. There are fucking racists everywhere, and it's sick to see that, but it just comes out of stupidity, ignorance, and a lack of education. So don't be stupid, don't be ignorant, educate yourself, learn about people and cultures, and your life will be fantabulastic. Alrighty, on that note, I'm gonna switch off. Lisa, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for making sure that your alarm is set for this particular podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody else who have turned in late after the recording, make sure to smash up the likes. If you would like to learn more about crypto, then head over to the Crypto Updates channel. I'll be starting a podcast in about 4 minutes, so make sure to head on over there. Yeah, I'll be talking about YouTubers, crypto YouTubers trying to scam people, or whether to believe them or not. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, and I will see you on the Crypto Updates podcast, and also next week on the Korea podcast. Have a good night. Bye-bye.